kill children.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Name
All right.
that tune. Anybody?
Don't have
Well,
the answer.
It's I Kill Children is the name of the song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ding,
Yeah,
ding,
Dead
ding.
Kennedys.
Dead Kennedy. Very good.
I wouldn't have known that before we started
Yeah.
this show, many moons ago.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. This is Left of Wrong. And,
Yes,
we
it
have
is.
Randy Harkin is here.
And Jim Coughlin,
And
my
Matt
partner.
Walker. Yeah. And we got Matt Walker
Welcome,
Hello.
Matt.
and John Darden.
Hey, guys.
Hey, John.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
And,
John Darden.
Hey.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Hey,
I
I-
really appreciate you guys coming in. I'm just impressed every time to learn that Jim has friends. I don't know.
Well, let's not go too far. Let's not go too far.
Jim has colleagues.
Yeah.
Acquaintances.
Now we have a varied group of people here. Yeah, sure, all white males, but let's move on.
Let's prove it.
So we're going to be
Yeah.
mansplaining everything to people. So
Yeah,
Jim,
exactly.
We're going to complain about
Ladies, we're going to tell you. But Matt is a California native.
Yes.
Which is not that
Wow.
rare. It's only 55%
Pretty
of
jealous.
Californians are native.
Yeah.
Did you know that? 55%.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but-
but
and-
actually, I mean, technically, after 6 months, you're a native, right?
That's
You can
right.
claim.
That's
that
right.
you're-
And also second generation because my father was also born in California.
Boom. Even better.
Wow.
Even better. And
My
John here-
bloodline runs deep in
Yeah.
California.
So your
Yeah, that's
father's
right.
like a character in The Grapes of Wrath, perhaps.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
He was born
yeah.
in 22. So
Wow.
Chinatown.
yeah,
22.
yeah. He
All
just
right.
turned 92 a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. And where was he from? Oh, he was California.
He was born in
And then where
born in
was-
Ontario. Grew up in Pomona, Claremont. and then-
All right. And then John.
Top that,
John. I don't know.
John.
I don't know where.
There's no
John-
topping.
John is
Well,
from
his dad's
Louisiana.
resume is way more impressive.
Yeah. Well,
No,
John.
no.
I knew had some political knowledge through life and also inheritance. John, let's talk about your dad briefly.
Yeah, sure, of course. He's the current lieutenant governor of Louisiana.
Boom.
He's running for governor of Louisiana.
In
2015.
15, he'll be on the ballot.
He'll be on the ballot. It's funny because we completely disagree on so many political issues, but I love him because he's tolerant of me. And
Sure.
and you know what I mean? Like he's actually
Yeah.
he's been cool to me, and he's let me do whatever I want to do. And with like the Washington bickering and all the problems right now with politics, I feel like he's kind of a dude you want in politics. He's somebody because he has the life experience of dealing with the other side, and he's kind of a peacemaker in that respect.
Interesting.
And
That's great.
he is
So he's like Bobby Jindal's like right hand man.
Well, I mean, technically, he's the vice president to Bobby Jindal's governor in Louisiana. You know, he's the lieutenant governor, but they ran on separate tickets.
So if Bobby Jindal, God forbid, was to like meet
If he
an
flew Malaysian Airlines,
Look.
Yeah.
Let's not
Terrible.
Get into
This is a terrible speculation.
Yeah, we shouldn't have this
awful.
discussion.
No, but if
we
it
will
let's say hypothetically,
no, actually, there's something even more interesting. Is that technically, as you mentioned earlier, your dad is the governor or acting governor when Bobby Jindal leaves the state of Louisiana.
That's true. That's so. But as an easier
wow,
example, so if Bobby Jindal left the state and he became governor, then what was your question? What was he going to do? Or
yeah, so then he would take over, right? He would be the man, and I'm just thinking, as the son of the governor, like probably would work well with the ladies. Is what I'm thinking.
well, you know what I did. I mean, I've done some jokes. I mean, I do stand up. You know, I've done some jokes about the whole thing, and it's like. It's kind of like, it's not very impressive when you try and pick up a girl in L.A. when you're like, my dad's a Republican politician. like, that is,
Yeah,
girls,
right,
and when you say lieutenant
Yeah.
governor, that
Yeah.
means fucking nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's lieutenant, it's like, okay. It's
Yeah.
really powerful, and okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like, it's very romantic in like the Chris Farley Black Sheep way, but I think practically it wouldn't actually,
Yeah.
it
you know,
doesn't fly here.
You
I
know
could
what?
see.
You know what? Maybe drive down to Orange County.
Oh, yeah.
Be like,
Yeah.
my dad's the...
Like maybe he
You could
could
go to
help.
Irvine, go to UC Irvine, hang
Yeah.
out around the campus there, and see who you can
Yeah,
pick
that
up.
could be.
Now,
Like he could be helpful, like if you were trying to get a casino built or something. Probably
now,
they do that.
Now,
in
I
Louisiana,
know.
don't they?
Yeah. It kind of reminds me
Unfortunately.
of me trying to tell, because there's also the fact that it's Louisiana. You know, we're trying to impress people in California. To have that sort of snobbery going against you. You know, where I've tried to tell friends about about a friend of mine that has just a ton of property and just a giant house, et cetera, et cetera. But it's all in Missouri, so they're all like, "Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
in Missouri."
It's worth
Yeah,
it's
you're
worth
right.
$17,000. This giant house
Right.
in Missouri.
The biggest
Right.
house in Ferguson. That's the guy.
Totally, he fireproofed it. He was a very smart guy.
Very good.
About 4 years ago.
It's like the house is $100,000 in Peoria, but it'd be $5.5 million
Yeah.
in the Palisades.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Randy is very well dressed tonight for those.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Normally
more
he's
than-
Randy
yeah.
looks like he's the son of a senator.
Yes,
I
exactly.
do. I kind of look like
Yeah.
a conservative buck.
Yeah, and but what that meant was he came from we'll just call it a work function.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll
let's
call it that.
that.
And so he's less prepared this week than normal, and he's the only one of the two of us that ever prepares. So there's a lot of pressure on the guests this week to talk about what happened this week, and I think we already mentioned that there's two important
Two
things.
huge hot button issues.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, is it a hot button? The North Korea
North Korea, of course.
successfully got the interview out of theaters.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a good start. I think. I think personally,
I'm upset that now there are people that are not going to see the movie when I wasn't going to see the movie to begin with, and now everybody's on my bandwagon, but for the wrong reason.
I know.
I didn't want to see it because it looked awful.
Yeah.
And now people aren't going to see it, even though they're like, "Oh, I would go watch it."
you know what's worse? Like now, I kind of want to see it, which I didn't want to see it, but like, fuck you,
I
Kim
fe-
Jong Un.
I feel like
I don't.
Like as an American, I feel like I should see it to anger the North Koreans.
Absolutely.
but-
I would have gone to it. I would have definitely made an effort to see it in theaters.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Yoshi Obayashi, but
Yeah.
he was supposed to go to the premiere last night, and he's like, "Oh, premiere got canceled." So
Yeah.
he missed out on a premiere party. That's
Yeah.
the
That's
the
bummer.
real
Yeah, that's
tragedy
what it
right there.
hurts right
Yeah.
here in Hollywood.
I took a shift at a day job last Sunday instead of going to a screening of the interview, and
now-
now
You could have been the guy that saw it.
I'm never gonna just the idea. I had an opportunity to see it in 35 millimeter on the big screen,
Yeah.
with an audience
Yeah.
before. I was
And
like,
now it's just gonna be bootlegs.
yeah,
And you know what? Fart jokes in 35 millimeter are like, yeah,
Translate.
you don't want to miss that.
Yeah, we'll have to, we have to wait for him to die, and then there's a transfer
Yeah,
of
so
power.
this is like the national dialogue right now.
Yeah.
Because forget that we're already beyond the torture report or I
Right.
can't
Well, we can
breathe or
get to that. We can
Ferguson.
get to
But
that.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
that
no,
this-
you're right. You're right.
Like
We
this
move
has
on.
been
We
the
move
number
on.
one top trending thing
Yeah.
on the Twitter buzz.
It's
for
been
like
90% of my
last
Facebook feed.
couple of
the last
days.
couple days. But
Yeah.
I think maybe Sony's doing an edit where the great leader will take down the imperialist pigs, and then they can release that version.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly like Hollywood studio executives have always been known for bravery. I mean, it is an extremely expensive endeavor to make any film.
But once the theater chains said they're not going to show
Yeah.
it, you're kind of like, what are you going to do? You can't
Right.
just put it on. See, I think it's something they'll probably release it in the summer. Like they're going to give it some time, and they'll talk
Yeah.
to the theaters and talk about security and prove that these threats are really worthless. Like they're not actual threats, and then they'll find some way to get this out. I don't think it's gone.
Yeah,
forever.
it's one thing to have guys that'll log on the internet and do hack into things. Who is so dedicated to the North Korean regime that's going to come over to the United States and do
blow up a
something?
movie theater?
And it's
No,
like
it's-
I think
Yeah.
I would get over here immediately and start blending in.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you don't want to run into one of those guys with the kimchi vest. That's those are nasty.
Woo, that burns. That burns my
That'll
nose.
clear out a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
Right
like
there.
I saw a pretty good documentary about North Korea on Netflix a while ago. I forget who made it, but
Oh,
it was
it's
about a
it's
guy-
on there now. But
Well, I don't-
they'll get that taken off.
I don't know if it's on there now, but it's about a guy who, in the Korean War, he defected to North Korea, and it was about his life and what happened to him there in North Korea. And he wound up
Wow.
becoming a movie star in North Korea, where he always played like the evil American, and he became like a big deal and a big star because he was like the only white person in North Korea that could play
Wow.
these roles in movies. But
Could I get
then he basically regretted the whole thing. Like he's like, I never should have done it. Is what
Yeah.
he said in the interviews. So.
Wow.
That sounds very familiar for some reason.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
defectors, but I don't remember the becoming a star, and I don't remember it was
Yeah.
during the Korean War.
Yeah.
There's always somebody, you can take any horrible idea, and there's always at least
Somebody's
a couple
done
people.
it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, and the actor in me was like, oh, I was going to be like, excuse me, need a plane ticket.
exactly,
Like, I was
yeah.
like, that's a brilliant idea. Like, go to
Yeah.
a market where you've cornered the type and just work.
Boom.
Typecast as the evil American.
But I'm sure North Korean films aren't, the greatest in the world. I mean, this is really weird. I feel like there must have been some sort of a credible threat to something. I don't feel like they're so weak and afraid. I feel like someone must have come in and been like, look, they got your systems. They know every promotional place that they're going to, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not
I
sure.
have a couple of theories, but
Yeah.
I'm curious where you guys get, because it does seem like there's two camps, right? Like cowards, un-American. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Mitt Romney. I don't like people are really like
The Mitt Romney thing's weird because you're like, yeah, Mitt, that's a good tweet.
Yeah.
yeah, like something you've never said in your life.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's like shit.
Yeah, like, but
I
don't.
wouldn't vote for you, but here's a thumbs up on Facebook.
Yeah, see, I don't. I'm just curious where you guys stand on the,
I've got a couple things I think might have happened. And one thing that I think might have happened was that Sony saw how much stuff had come out, right? And we all saw the stuff that came out, and it was making them look pretty bad. And maybe the hackers went to Sony and said, "We've got this other pile of stuff that will make that look like you were angels.
I think so.
And we're going to release this if you guys don't back down." And that could have been the thing where, like, maybe she's like, "I'm going to lose my job."
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pull the money. That's one theory I have.
Yeah, no, I tweeted almost the same thing, that there's more incriminating, worse pictures and nasty stuff that you really don't want to see or have to deal with. That's one. But do you think that they're somehow being cowards for not showing it?
I don't
that's
think
the part I don't get.
It's not Sony that's being cowards because their theater chains pulled out on them, so they can't make a theater show the movie. The theater chains are the ones who are like, we're not going to do it because this being America, I think it's a lawsuit waiting. If somebody sneezed on somebody, they got a cold, they'd probably sue them and blame North Korea and say they should have had security in place. Or
It's just crazy because I feel like even people who, like you were talking about, who weren't interested in the movie, we're going to go see the movie just because it became this like event, even as a statement. Even people who didn't like Franco or Seth Rogen, they were going to be like, well, I'm just going to go and just say, fuck you, North Korea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Suck it, North Korea.
it could have been I still feel like it has an opportunity to be a unifying moment because, like, okay, like the Romney as an example, Newt Gingrich as an example. Like, we're agreeing across the political
Donald
divide.
Trump.
Yeah, there's a synergy
it's finally
there.
brought America together.
Yeah, the idea a Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that I think it has nothing to do with courage. I think it's a bottom line numbers thing. Like you said, some of the theaters pulled out. People already were going to stay away from it.
Yeah.
So, and they've already been hurt because the other movies that were hacked so some of them are online and available. So already they're taking a hit in revenue. And so as capitalists, it's a risk versus reward. And a lot of these things we've already said. But so am I going to push forward, even though the theater chains don't want to show it or they're not going to show it? And so I just think it was a bottom line numbers decision, and they'll come back later and they'll regroup. And if there's a time to do it, and then market it as some patriotic, you got us. It's your patriotic duty to see this movie now.
Like, I think it'll
then
probably
it'll
come out
happen
in the summer or something like that is when I would guess. Like, they'll wait for things to blow over and figure out exactly what they really got taken for and see what really comes out. And, maybe there'll be some strategic strike that we don't even hear about where the CIA conducts some covert operation or something. And then
here's
they can
the
release
thing.
their movie. I don't know.
I think they're playing right into our hands, right? Because they declared early on when they were making the movie, or when it was first announced, that it was an act of war. So now that it's getting closer, and now they've kind of lobbed the first strike at preemptive, really. Right. So now we have a new country to fucking bomb, and we got everybody. That's the one thing that Democrats and Republicans, that politicians anyway, can agree on, is it's time to bomb somebody, and that would be a kind of a unifying moment. If we go over and take out North Korea, we're friends with South Korea.
Somewhere in Missouri, there's a 15-year-old kid, and this is his Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were you on December 7th, Grandpa? Because I remember when they pulled the interview from theaters.
Yeah.
I was all set to see it.
Hashtag first world problem.
Yeah. But we haven't fought in Asia since Vietnam. We're kind of rusty going over there. It's like a different direction. We're all ready. I mean, we can always go to the Middle East. Yeah.
Well, Afghanistan is in Asia.
Well, that's
Just
true.
That's geography.
True. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I meant. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on.
Jim's not really good with